What brought me to Pure Vitality was pretty much desperation. I had a kid who for 2 years had been sick with strep. She had developed full-blown Tourette's, jerking, flailing. She developed ADHD, OCD. It was crazy. And every doctor I went to, they're like, oh, we'll do strep. We'll give her antibiotics. And me being the good mom that I thought I was, like, sure, that's the best thing. And then they're like, well, we still can't get rid of the strep. Let's take her tonsils out. Yeah, that's great. She got sicker after the tonsils came out. Still jerking, still flailing. I mean, full blown. You walk down the mall, and she is just. It looks like she's convulsing. She was out of school constantly. I even got to the point where I actually pulled her out of school. Went to an infectious disease specialist. He said, you have a condition, your daughter has a condition called PANDAS, pediatric auto-neuropsychiatric disorder associated with strep. The cure, there's no cure, it's just something she'll eventually outgrow, but what we're going to do, we're going to put her on antibiotics. For 2 years, my daughter took 2 doses of Keflex every day. By the end of that 2 years, she couldn't eat a darn thing. She could not. Her stomach was a mess. Every time we'd go anywhere, we'd have to specify, talk to the chef, say, look, this is what we need. Trip to Disney was no fun because before we ate anything, we had to go in and talk to the chef. And the chef, they all worked with you. It was great. And then, I'd already changed our diet or what I thought was good. We'd stopped white flour. We'd stopped sugar. We'd stopped all this, and it still didn't help. And the lady I bought my wheat from, she said, well, you got to go see Becky. And I'm like, you know what? Desperation. Let's go see Becky. I was a little nervous. We go in there, and Holly's holding these rods, and Becky's poking her fingers and all this, that, and the other. And Becky asked me, she said, does she grind her teeth at night? I'm like, well, that's kind of a strange question. I'm like, no. She said, well, it's showing that her jaw is under stress. And she had been the day before to have her braces adjusted. And that right there, I'm like, okay, this might actually be a good thing. We worked with Becky probably for, a few months to, a year or so. And everything slowly settled down. The ADHD stopped, the OCD stopped, the jerking, thank the Lord, stopped. And, she's quite the fit child now. Of course, she's not a child. We worked with her for about, probably about a year, and then now it is 10 years later. And she's never sick. She obviously has the immune system that, whatever we did back then, set her up for hopefully the rest of her life, and her immune system is just awesome right now. She never gets sick. And then my son Zane, about the same time frame, he was 9, about to be 10. I noticed it was like 2 days before school started, he starts jerking. And I'm like, oh no, here we go again. I went to the school and I told them, I said, just so you know, I said, when my daughter had this, she missed 56 days of school her 3rd grade year. Thank the Lord she had an awesome teacher who worked with her. And I told the school, I said, just so you know, this is what could potentially happen. So I told them about that, and then I brought Zane to Becky. And I said, okay, here we go again. But the difference this time is we had already made the dietary changes. We hadn't been eating the processed food. I was still making my own bread. We had very little sugar in the house. We ate as healthy and as organic and as clean as we could. So the difference was, I talked with Becky and we got Zane on some type of regime to get his immune system built up. He never, he had the jerking a little bit. He never developed any. He had a little bit, but he never, to the extent that Holly went. Zane's was minor compared to what Holly went through. So it was a blessing that all this happened when it did.